Today on episode 145 of Typical Chicago Fans, we have Sinkers and Floaters, TCF Sports Minute, a Bears preview, our Week 1 NFL Pick Show, Trivia Corner, and the TCF Top 3 of NFL Stadiums. Let's roll. Hello and welcome to episode 125 of Typical Chicago Fans, brought to you by our sponsor, Connect Roasters Coffee. You can find us on Twitter at typical_Chicago. Head to Facebook and Instagram. Give those pages a like as well for all of our content on video form. Make sure you head over to YouTube, subscribe there. Wherever you get your podcasts, we are there as well. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcasts. You can follow me on Twitter at Boomy TCF, but also make sure to follow the guys that I'm joined with tonight. That is, of course, we got Zach at ZLilia TCF and Maddie at schools_01. Boys, we're entering those early fall days. Weather's getting awfully nice. I'm starting to, we talked about it a little last week. It's still a little warm here and there, but, nice little crispness in the air. It's got to feel good, right?
I think we've had a very lucky summer.
Very.
There's been a few weeks here and there where you have maybe where it's a little hot, but nothing like it has been the last few summers. We don't have days upon days of just being miserably hot. This has been a very, I would say, mild summer.
Yeah, and like I know we were, 2 hours north, but we played golf this weekend, and we were all in, sweatpants and a hoodie for a little bit. Pop that off, So that was, you can feel it if coming around the bend.
No, I totally agree. I got that little bit of a taste of that first bit of fall, that first weekend fall day. I was up in Wisconsin last weekend, and it was like 52 at like 7:38 in the morning when I first went out, took the dog outside. It was awesome. Like it just was
beautiful,
just
absolutely perfect.
I think I sent a tweet and I tagged the TCF account that morning with like you're just missing like the NFL pregame shows, like just the background sound of that when you're just having coffee, walking around the house, getting some shit done around the house. So you got the whole afternoon cleared out. That was like all I was missing was that background noise.
It's bear weather.
It is a thing of beauty. We're set up here for it a little bit, but let's jump into it. As always, we have sinkers and floaters. I'll start off with my sinker, and that is barbers. Two men were removed from the stands at the U.S. Open on Tuesday night. The two men were in Arthur Ashe Stadium, and one was giving the other one a haircut. He had a pair of clippers and was lining up another gentleman, cutting his hair, trimming the beard. He had, the little bib apron on. And these two gentlemen were kicked out. They were in the stands for the Nick. I think it's Kyrgios. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I know he's the guy that slams his tennis racket. Kyrgios, yep. And Karen Kachnovov. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right, but obviously very expensive seats, right? We're talking like the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open, and these two guys decided they were going to go in and have a nice little haircut, and they were removed from the match. So pretty wild way to just probably blow a couple $100 to go get your haircut. But, hey, what are you going to do?
Everybody wants to go viral.
Yeah, that's exactly it, I think. I think we saw some of this like on the sidelines of like an NBA game or something.
I don't understand it. My sinker is hangovers. I went on a bachelor party last weekend, like I said on last week's show, and we had Labor Day, and we had Labor Day off. We got back on Monday, but on Tuesday, for some reason, I still had a hangover. I know I'm only 27 years old, but hangovers suck.
Yeah, that's, God's way of telling you to slow down. We get those every once in a while for a reason. But, hey, it was a good Labor Day weekend then. So you at least know you got that in the back pocket.
It was very fun, but I'm just saying that the second day hangover is no fun.
That's very fair.
No. You have it last more than 8 hours, you're in trouble. That's when you start entering battle zone. It's like just survival mode at that point.
You're at war with your brain.
Mm-hmm. Your body.
Don't win a lot of those wars.
I don't.
Maddie, what's your sinker?
Well, mine's a follow up to my sinker last week. I think I told you guys I got roped into helping assistant coach.
Yep. How's the squad?
After 2 practices, we're still working on a lot. It's basically
you're still working on everything.
The best way to describe it is like, have you guys ever been to like a farm that's got chickens just out in the range?
Had chickens growing up.
You throw stuff out there, just let them snack on whatever scrap food you got, and they're all just running at, just in a mass, just whatever, like little chunk of a potato you threw over the fence. That's what it's like. You throw the ball out there, and it's just like they're just running aimlessly, kicking and pecking, sticking their hands in there. Other kids are kicking. Like it's mass chaos, absolute chaos.
Pretty much the only thing a ref does in that game is have to break up the kids from just being in a huddle,
mauling each other. Yeah. So anyway, though, the sinker portion of this is,
oh no,
I told you the assistant coach said, yeah, he's like, I just need some help with practices first off, and that's how he ropes you in. Then he said, there might be a game or 2 that I have to miss, but I'll just need you to cover. Sure.
That's never
well,
good.
Guess what happened week 1? Coming on Saturday. He's not coming on Saturday. So now I got our first game. I got to figure this out by myself. So
Zach, what are you doing Saturday morning?
I roped a guy in, another dude, another dad, and I said, hey man, like, I'll take any help I can get with just at least keeping these kids organized as much as anything. He goes, yeah, that's no problem. I'll be here. He's like, I played soccer in high school too. So he's like, I got a little bit of an idea what's going on. So I'm like, perfect, you're in.
Oh, that's great, man. Matt, we're still waiting for our schedule. Me and Zach over here. So whenever you get around to that, we'll make the trip.
Mostly Saturdays, 9 a.m. So Zach's 9-hour hangover is gonna be a rough.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna need you not to give me at all.
That'd be even better. Zach hung over at a little 4 or 5-year-old soccer game on a 8 a.m. on a Saturday, an hour away from home.
I
got nephews. I gotta do that.
I wouldn't put my worst enemy through that if he didn't have to.
Oh, that's great. My floater, on the other hand, is it happens to be my favorite animals, and that is monkeys. And that is because a caged monkey in Ukraine, I don't know if you guys saw this. This is one of the wildest videos I've seen in a while. A chimpanzee escaped from a city zoo on Monday, and they were kind of tracking it around. Obviously, we all know what's going on in the Ukraine. Staff at the zoo, it's in the Ukraine's second biggest city. I think it's Kharkiv is how that's pronounced. They were struggling to get Chi-Chi back in the zoo. He just kind of wandered around the streets in a park, just kind of doing his own thing. And then it started to rain. Chi-Chi then went back to his handlers, and they put a yellow raincoat on him. And then in order to get him back to the zoo, they put Chi-Chi on a bicycle and wheeled him back to the zoo. So this story just kept getting wilder and wilder.
Imagine driving down the road to see a monkey in like a wheelchair.
A monkey on a mountain bike being pushed by two zoo handlers in a yellow coat. Like, this is
what are we doing here?
Oh, it's insane. But that's just too funny. Like, I can't imagine. I mean, there's pictures online. He's just like, kind of wandering through. I believe it was all over Twitter this morning. And he just, wandering around, walking around. Rain starts, then he bolts back to his handlers and hops on a bike and goes back home. So shout out to Chi-Chi the monkey.
He knew what he was doing.
Yes, he did. He just wanted to go for a stroll, all right? Leave the guy alone.
None of them you got to bust out.
Oh, yeah. He was just planning the escape.
Sometimes you got to go on a stroll. I think a stroll is good for the mind.
I agree.
My floater is bowling leagues. I started my first – I kind of subbed last year for a bowling team, but this year I'm actually on the bowling team. First week. We got 29 more weeks left, boys. This is going to be 29 more weeks. It's going to be a haul. First week, I think my highest game was 138. Well, I'll give you the official scores next week. But I fought my ass off out there. First week I hadn't bowled in like since the last I can't remember, 4 or 5 months probably. And well, since me and you, Boomy, went to
That
Super
was
Bowl.
back in March,
Yeah,
February, maybe.
so first game you're just out there fighting. You're out there fighting. But it's a good time. It's at the local Elks. I don't know if everybody understands what an Elks is. How would you explain it? It's just like
It's a club of people.
everyone has one, right?
Yeah, and not everybody,
Not
but like a
everybody.
lot of.
A lot of small towns do. It's like a small town like club
When you go
organization.
inside the bowling alley, you go back about 20, 30 years probably.
You got like a lot of people have the Lions Club. Then there's the Elks Club. There's there's
Yeah.
all kinds.
It's a good time though.
Community
But yeah,
organizations.
There we go. That's the best way to describe it. Boomy nailed it.
so bowling leagues, it's a good time. You hang out with your buddies, and I'm just letting you know though, I have 29 more weeks left of this,
That's
so
a long
we're gonna
time.
have a lot of updates from this season.
Nothing wrong with that. Maddie, your floater.
I'm gonna take the easy route again, and I've been doing this the last I don't know, probably the last 7-8 months when there is a UFC pay-per-view. That's kind of become my
Yes.
floater, and we got a
Nate
good one.
Diaz.
I think it's one this week that a lot of people are saying they don't think it's a very good card. There's not a lot of good fights. There really isn't a ton that like kind of have you grasping to want to drop $75 on a pay-per-view, but you got Hamzat Chimaev, the rising star, the guy who's about to take over the welterweight division by storm. I think Leon Edwards is going to be in his sights very soon, if not Usman, after a rematch of those two guys. But like Zach said, he's facing Nate Diaz, a legend, guy who's on his last contract, last fight in the
Who
UFC.
doesn't get knocked out? He doesn't get knocked out. He will go all 3 rounds or all 5 rounds. Is probably
It's 5. Yeah, it's 5 main
5,
event.
and it's gonna be. I'm not saying he's gonna win, but he's gonna make it fun to watch. He's gonna make it hard for him to win. He's just gonna get hit 8 times in the face and then say, "Hit me again, please."
I think Chimaev is going to do really bad things to him. I think Chimaev.
I understand that, but I still think
it doesn't
seem
seem
like
like
all 5 rounds.
I don't know, only because I don't know where Diaz's heart is in this one. It just doesn't seem like it seems different with him right now. The things he's saying, like, I don't know, it's weird. Like today, he was saying like he didn't want the fight, didn't ask for the fight, all this stuff, but he kept
No,
saying
he said I didn't want the fight. I didn't ask for the fight, but guess what? If you're the champ, you got to come through me. That's what he said.
I don't know.
I don't
man.
know. I still think he's got a little bit of that swagger. He's not
He
going to win
does.
for sure. I don't think he's going to win, but I think it's going to be a fun fight.
I really like watching Chimaev. I really like that guy a lot.
Insane.
He's an absolute menace. And that guy.
Did you see him going to Apollo?
He will wrestle. He'll strike. He'll do everything to you, dude. And he's just a bad dude in the ring. So I don't know. It should be. It's one I'm looking forward to. Like just like Zach said, because Diaz is just such a legend. And
he said he goes, I eat gangsters for breakfast. That's what he said.
Yeah. Like you grew up in the streets. I grew up in a mountain. Like that's it's like he's just
undefeated.
A different breed.
I mean, is he champ?
No, he's one of the top contenders in the welterweight division, and he just beat Gilbert Burns. It was a great fight, but he controlled one in a decision. I think
it's also
29-28.
Stacked
but
division too.
It's a stacked division, and like I said, with Edwards getting the upset win over Usman a couple weeks ago, threw a wrench in everything because obviously Usman gets in pretty much an instant rematch if he wants it. So, and it sounds like he does. So let's set that fight up. Chimaev was basically lined up to face Usman, assuming he beat Edwards, and all of a sudden, one kick to the head and things change real quick.
Well, during COVID, me and Boomy, we really got into UFC. There was a
same thing. That's when I got into it.
I have a buddy who stuff. It was awesome.
One of the first sports that came back, and like I had a buddy who's been very big into UFC for years. Like when it was really kind of very very niche. And close friends. So like he kind of got me into it at the beginning of the pandemic. and him and I go back and forth almost every day about it now. It's like it's just part of like my normal. It's become like an additional sport that I pay attention to with all the others. You know what I mean?
If
It's
you
just,
watch about 5 or 6 fights, you'll see multiple fighters, and you'll start to know people and the
dude, and I'm
backstories.
telling you, watch
They're
the
really good
Contender
in the moment of
Series.
telling about it. Oh
Watch the
yeah,
Contender Series on Tuesday
it's
nights.
free. Yeah, it's free on
It's on
ESPN Plus, I
ESPN.
think.
Yeah, it's free, and it's you can get lines on it on DraftKings, on Barstool. So it's fun to
And
sprinkle a couple bucks just on those
the
fights.
winners will be. They get
A
contracts.
lot of them get, yeah. It's all they're fighting for a contract, and you know they're not guaranteed one if they win, but when there's a
They
knockout, a good
most
submission,
likely
a
get
lot of
them.
times they've been giving them out this year like crazy. So it's and next Tuesday, Bo Nickel, he's like the top prospect in the entire sport. He
I think
was
the last one they
undefeated
had.
wrestler at Penn State. He
Yeah.
he was dynamite college wrestler, steamrolled everybody's face in mixed martial arts in his first couple of pro fights, and he fought in Contender Series a couple weeks ago. Absolutely destroyed the guy. He was like a minus 1,200 favorite. He's going to be another huge favorite again this Tuesday, but you'll want to watch him too.
Right on. So make sure you tune in to the UFC fights. Let's jump into some other sports action in the TCF Sports Minute. We'll be quick on this. Cubs 57-78. They're 22 and a half games back. It is what it is. It's a fourth place team in the middle of September. You're getting new guys called up, and we've talked about this a million times.
Yeah,
You
there's new
want the young
pitchers every
guys that,
single week.
yeah, you want those guys that are going to get the shot. You want to see them perform. Minor league seasons are winding down here soon, so you might see some names that you're familiar with. Not some of the big names like Pete Crow Armstrong, obviously, Brendan Davis, and stuff like that. But like you're seeing,
I saw the Iowa Cubs. They clinched a spot in the
yep,
playoffs.
yep, heading to the playoffs. I believe South Bend is too. I believe they clinched in the first half, but don't quote me on that. But anything on the Cubs, boys, I mean, it is what it is. It's the definition of background music right now.
Yeah, it's
I think it's elevator music at this point.
Yeah,
it's one of those things you're excited to watch some of the new pitchers and the offense, whatever, but the bullpen, it's just not there because we got rid of so much of it. And but you have nights like last night when you have Hayden how do you say his last name? The guy who pitched last night for the Cubs.
Wesneski.
Yeah, it was the guy we got in the Scott Efros trade, and he was absolutely nasty last night. Absolutely nasty.
Yeah.
And that's exciting to see for the future or whatever. But after that, there's really not much there.
Yeah, it's hard to watch.
I'll be honest. The other night, I turned off the Cubs game to watch Serena Williams play tennis. So, kind of where we're at. And I don't watch tennis, but here we are. White Sox, a little bit of a surge since I only had one TV in the bedroom, and I had to make a choice. So, White Sox might be Undertaker meme right here, but they are 68-68, 3 games back. When we recorded this show a week ago, they were 6 games back. We officially cemented the headstone. They cut it back down to 2 the other day before they lost on Tuesday. 3 games back. They're not going to do this, right? Like, they're not going to actually pull this out, are they, fellas? And they're up 9-6. Or I'm sorry, they won 9-6
They won,
today.
yeah.
I can't get a read on this.
I think they can. I really think they can because I don't think the Guardians are good at all, really. I think that they're lucky that they're in the division they are in. I don't think if they make the playoffs, there's going to be much of it. But I do think that there is a chance they still can win this division.
I mean, their next 2 series are the A's, who are atrocious, and the Rockies, who are bad. Then they have a huge game with the Guardians on the 15th, and then they get the Tigers, Guardians again, Tigers, Twins, Padres, Twins. So
I still think they have a chance. Like their division is allowing them to, and I'm not, like you said, I don't think they're going to make anything in the playoffs. But I still think their division is going to allow them to make the playoffs. I don't think you should be really happy with what's going on still, but hopefully you can still make the playoffs.
Yep. Maddie, anything on the White Sox?
Just hope they collapse. Cleveland is up 1-0 in the bottom of the 8th.
Okay.
It will be. The one thing too is they've got to deal with Minnesota too, and I know Minnesota hasn't been playing very well. They're about to get swept in the doubleheader against the Yankees today.
Oh, you're
But
telling me
it's too.
Minnesota couldn't beat New York after the month of September
Yeah,
started?
right. It's wild, isn't it? No, but it's. I just really want to see them go down in glorious fashion. I want to see Twitter burn. I just want to see it melt. I just do. I'm sorry.
That's the SpongeBob on fire
I'm
meme right now.
sorry. It's just one of those
Okay.
things. Like they just wouldn't fucking stop for the last few years, and now it's like shit's coming to roost a little bit. You know what I mean? It's not even the Sox themselves; it's the fucking fans. I'm sorry, but whatever. I'm not
No,
sorry. Never mind.
One thing I have to ask about is what's up with all these injuries? I mean, how can this keep happening?
Yeah, they've gone through. I think they fired their strength and conditioning coach at the end of last season, and it's not getting any better. So, not good. Not good.
It's so many soft tissue injuries.
It's unbelievable. It just feels like they're injury prone. I mean, I know we use that term a lot, but I mean, for crying out loud, they've led the majors in soft tissue injuries for like 3 years in a row. That's definition of bad right there. But the definition of good here, though, the Chicago Sky balance out the Eastern Conference Finals. A nice little comeback victory in Game 4. We are headed to Game 5. I believe this
they
will
won
be
that
in
game.
Chicago. What'd you say?
They won.
They won Game 4, I believe.
Oh my goodness! Weren't they down by like 20?
Hang on, I'm looking. I might be wrong here. There's a good to
No,
fair
you might
chance
be
that
right, but if you're right though, I'm going to be very mad at myself for not betting it.
yeah, they won let's see, Game 4. I don't know. They won by 24. Game 3, they won by 4. No,
I
I'm
swear to
sorry.
goodness.
Very wrong. I read that wrong. They lost Game 4. I was looking at Game 3. So Game 5, Thursday night, 7 p.m. Winner goes to the WNBA Finals. I was looking at the wrong date. So it was the one they were down.
Journalism there.
Hey, it's been a long week, all right, and it's only Wednesday. So get off my back.
Like, okay, I looked at it I looked at one point to bet on them, and they were down by like 20. So that's the only reason I knew that.
Yep, I'm sorry. They were up 2-1, got beat by 20
Nice.
in Connecticut. Now they're coming back to Chicago, and the winner will face the Las Vegas Aces, who were the best team in the WNBA this year, led by Becky Hammond.
Yeah, I watched their game last night. My goodness, are they good?
Yeah, they're solid. They bounced Seattle pretty easily, and Seattle's a pretty good basketball team. So, also in basketball news, the NBA season's just a couple weeks out here. But guys, it's starting to get a little worrisome. Looks like the Bulls will not have Lonzo Ball to get the season started. Are we touching that panic button yet? Or are we getting it out and looking at it? Where are we just kind of remembering where it's at? What do we think? Where are we at on the Bulls about a month and a half out?
I'm just confused of what's going on with Lonzo Ball, because they say he won't even start the season. So
yeah,
he missed 3/4 of last season, and he has all this off season, and he's still not going to be ready for training camp. Still not going to be ready for the regular season. What is going on? How did he tear his ACL? What happened here?
I don't know exactly what it is, but I mean, it clearly is something that has been nagging for a really, really long time. You know, he did have surgery on it in January. I don't think it's an ACL. I don't think you can disclose that kind of information in the NBA. But you know, it's not good. It's not good. I mean, we're starting year 2 with him.
What do you mean? What do you mean you can't disclose that?
Like, you can't keep that a secret.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like the other way around. Sorry.
No, I
thought you meant
wrong.
I thought you meant they were allowed to get.
No, I probably said that wrong. But yeah, I mean, we looked at a guy who played maybe, you know, at best like 30-40% of the season. So it's frustrating for sure, and especially as good as the East is getting. I mean, a lot of other teams are, you know, picking. I mean, we just saw Cleveland go and
be with
trade for Donovan Mitchell.
Oh yeah, goodness. The Cavs are going to be unreal next year. But it's one of those things. You saw how good they could be with him, having
Yeah.
that extra guard, and then you lose him, and you think, oh, he'll be back at some point this year. And he's not back, and you go, oh, he'll be back next season, and now he's not even be ready for the beginning of next year. It's confusing.
I guess he did. He played 35 games last year, which is a little under half, but still, I mean, it's not something you want to be looking at. Maddie, you starting to get worried about the start of this bowl season?
Yeah, I don't know how you're not. I mean, it's like you guys mentioned, everybody else is getting better. Everyone else in the East is loading up, and the Bulls just kind of has status quo as much as anything. So there was no super big splash, no huge move. I mean, you're hoping another full off season with Patrick Williams' growth and hopefully improving there. You're hoping that DeRozan piggybacks off his career year that he had last year, and Levine can stay healthy. You're hoping on a lot of things, and Vucevic too, like that he's not going to regress. So like they're at a crossroads here soon, and I think they've got a roster that could be very good if healthy. I don't know how healthy they can really be though.
Absolutely. I think that you guys nailed it. Everybody else is kind of, getting better, and it just feels kind of like an off season of spinning your wheels there. I mean, the additions of Drummond and Dragic, but like those guys are way past their prime, and now you kind of sit here and
Atlanta's not getting worse.
Yeah.
They're not getting worse. Like you brought up Cleveland after the big trade for Mitchell. They're not getting worse, obviously. The Nets they're gonna still be a threat. Boston's gonna be awesome. Milwaukee,
Miami, Toronto.
Toronto's tough. It's not going to be a cakewalk. Detroit's going to be a nasty ass team here soon too, and that's a team that you're not going to want to face night in night out.
Yeah. What I ask of the Bulls is, please just end the season better than you did last year. You played so well at the end of the year, I understand it, but let's have a more consistent season.
I don't think that's too much to ask for where they're at in this rebuild. So
a full season from LaMelo and Charlotte could be dangerous too.
I was just thinking that as well. I mean, it's not going to get any easier, that's for sure. But before we move on, we have to give a big shout out to our sponsor, Connect Roasters Coffee. They have the best coffee around that you could possibly find. They work with our guy, Dom Frederick and Ian Happ, so it's quality stuff. Those guys aren't going to consume and promote bad coffee. Head to their website, connectroasters.com. Follow them on Twitter at Connect Roasters. You can find their product at Foxtrot Market, Dom's, also at the Obvious Shirts store in Wrigleyville. You've only got about a month left of the season, a little under a month left. So make sure you get out there and get your Connect Roasters coffee. Just trust us on this one. Order a bag, order some pods. You'll be good to go. ConnectRoasters.com. Well, let's go ahead and jump into it. Everybody knows this weekend kicks off the NFL season, and we got the two biggest Bears fans I know right up here. So let's go ahead and get into our Bears preview. Vegas has the Bears over under at 6.5. What do you guys realistically think is the final record for the Bears this season?
I really do think that's right around the number, honestly. I don't think they're going to wow anybody. My biggest thing is I just want to see Justin Fields play well. I want to see a little bit of improvement in the offensive line. I understand they're probably not going to go to the playoffs or whatever, but I just want to see Justin Fields play well.
Okay, hear me out a little bit here. I'm not going to do anything crazy. I'm not going to say anything stupid. But for a team that everybody in the world is kind of just like counting out as just, a 4-win, 5-win team, I think over 6, and I think I've seen 6.5 as well. I love the over, actually. I think 7 wins.
The division they play against is not the best.
It's not a great division. Green Bay is obviously the class of the division, but then like Minnesota
not even that. The division they play within the season, they play the Giants, they play the Commanders.
I was going to get to that. These are some of the win. Like I have their schedule pulled up here. They got the Texans, Giants, Commanders, Patriots, Dolphins, Falcons, Jets, Eagles and Bills is really their out of conference stuff, like, and 49ers obviously this week, but like there are some very winnable games outside of playing in the NFC North.
I mean, there's a couple factors in my opinion that take those teams that no one expects and get in the components to make them a team of 7, 8, 9 wins that I think is possible. And that's a decent quarterback or good quarterback play, a decent offensive line that's stable and does their job, and a good offensive game plan. And I think with the offensive line, they've kind of patchworked together with moving Jenkins in, picking up Leatherwood. It seems like they might have hit gold in the draft with Braxton Jones in the 5th round. Like everyone's raving about this guy being, a potential like high end, elite, possibly elite tackle. You got Riley Reef also there. That's a competent offensive, and Cody Whitehair, and like that's a competent offensive line, right there in itself. So I think if you get Justin Fields playing well, which I think all the signs are pointing up, everything you saw from him in the preseason was positive. The offensive line looks like they could be decent, and if you get a good game plan, that's what I'm most excited about. Is Luke Getz, the new offensive coordinator, has got a game plan put together that's built around fucking Justin Fields, which is what people have been clamoring for from the Bears coaching staffs of the last few terms, where it's just been like they're so stuck in their game plans where it's like you got this athletic quarterback who can get outside, who can throw the ball down the field. He's got a good arm. Get him outside the pocket, and that seems to be what Getsy's plan is. Wide spread the field out, get him in some space, makes things easier on David Montgomery, makes things easier on an untested, wide receiving core. I think there's components there to making that offense be actually better than people expect. And with a solid defense that I think should be there, good head coach and Eberflus kind of running that defense, I think there's no reason they can't flirt with that 7-8 win territory. In my opinion, that's all I got.
My biggest thing is with the Bears, I would have to say, okay, with the Roquan Smith stuff, I feel like Ryan Pace would have panicked, tried to trade him, get rid of him for whatever
or sign him to a
get,
silly deal
or whatever. And Poles goes, you know what? What are you going to do? We're going to, unfortunately, I know it's a bad way of going about business, but he's in a contract. So he goes, you know what? You either have to play the contract or it's not going to work out. And I think that was one of the biggest things. It's like, that was the biggest. I think this organization has actually changed by the moves they have made within. Maybe I'm crazy. Right. Maybe I'm a homer. I know it's the Bears. I'm a homer, but I really do think that that's a move they would have panicked and got rid of him. But they said, you know what? We have the leverage here.
Oh, for sure. And like, it goes back, like we talked, at the beginning and when we started this show, I believe that was around the end of Nagy's first year. And, it's, you never know with a new coach and what he's going to bring in obviously, Matt, you talked about the new offensive system. Like if he comes out and does things, that teams aren't ready for, you could see it. And with the schedule that they play, you could easily see a path where this team could be around the 7-8 win mark. And a lot of the harder games or the harder teams that they have, they're playing at home, so it's one of those years where, if he sets things out on the right foot, kind of like you were saying about, Poles doing, with the Roquan situation, if the coaching staff and the team comes out in the same, kind of the same mentality, you might be able to surprise somebody and pick up some of those wins, especially when you have some like the Miami Dolphins coming to Chicago on November 6th, or, the Bills. You're not saying the Bears are going to beat the Bills, but they got to come to Chicago on December 24th. The Eagles have to come on the 18th.
I understand the 49ers made to the playoffs last year, but they had Trey Lance, who knows what he's going to be like this year. And they're 7-point favorites, which I just think is I understand they're a good team. They got George Kittle. They got Deebo Samuel. They're a good team, but they're going out there with a quarterback. It's his first NFL start.
He didn't start any last year? I thought he did when.
Yeah,
I
he played. Yeah, he played when Garoppolo was hurt last year.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
But I
But
mean,
it's just
it's his
but he's
first
playing
year
over Garoppolo.
it's his first year in trench as a starter. Like walking into the season, he's the
What
guy.
I'm saying is they're making it seem like they're going to go in there and just maybe they will, I guess, but I just think that the Bears are going to at least put up a fight, and not, a touchdown favorite on the road is just kind of wild to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Something to be said about home dogs. Last thing on the Bears preview, guys, it really seems like this Bears move is going to happen. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the renderings. I know they're just renderings, but I don't know. You got to be a little excited about that, right?
It looks pretty cool. I hope it all happens. It's gonna. The only thing is, you can get pumped about it right now. I think it looks awesome, but it's not going to be actually a thing for like 5 years. So we have to just kind of be excited about it for now. But you got to realize it's going to be a while until that actually happens. Hopefully this team is good before that happens, for my sanity. But I think it looks cool. It's exciting. It's something different. I think that it really, and it also gives you an opportunity to host a Super Bowl. Is what I really think.
That's
I
true.
think that's the biggest thing. Is you have a retractable roof, because when the Super Bowl is going on, guess what? It's shitty in Chicago. It's cold. No one wants to go to Chicago. So if we have a retractable roof, we can actually do something around it. Because guess what? Minnesota has had the Super Bowl, and it's cold there.
Detroit,
Guess
Detroit.
Yeah,
New York,
you know what I mean.
yeah.
They've
New
had the
York.
Super Bowl, but guess what? They have a
But
roof.
New York doesn't have a dome,
And-
which is weird.
But it's New York, though.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
know what I mean, though. The Bears aren't. They're not going to have a Super Bowl at Soldier Field. It'll never happen.
Not to mention it only holds like what, 60,000 people.
But you know what I mean, though. That should be a goal. Like, I understand you want to win, you want to do this, but like you should be excited to like host things at your own place. Like that's the other thing too. Is like if you're the McCaskies, you're looking at it like we're not making any money off of anything happening here. If we can go to Arlington, we own that place. Guess what? We're gonna make way more money. The Bears. I don't know if you guys have ever looked at this. The Bears are like the 5th most wealthiest team, like worth. Imagine if they had their own stadium.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
crazy that they are
Never
that
thought of
high
that.
by owning a stadium that they don't even own, really.
Right.
I mean, they play there.
They
but-
lease it.
Well,
Yeah.
and the problem too is the Bears ownership is they need to get this taken care of quicker, sooner rather than later, because unfortunately, once Virginia dies, there's a lot of ownership split that goes to a lot of
It's gonna
people.
be wild.
So that means it's going to be a lot of hands in the pot, and not someone with all the equity to make all the controlling decisions that you would necessarily want running a sports team. So it could get really interesting.
Maddie, I got one more thing before we get out of here with the Bears preview. Bermuda grass. What do you think of it?
Well,
Can't be any worse.
well, let me tell you about Bermuda. No,
They're like putting it down.
no.
Like that. Isn't it crazy that that literally came from somewhere else? That I know
Yeah.
that's just dumb. I mean, I have a dumb brain. But like, that's
the
just
grass
wild
that's
to
like
me.
in the southeast. Like I lived in South Carolina when I was like in college during my internship, and that was the grass that they have down there. It almost felt fake. It's just very different than the Kentucky bluegrass that we have here.
You know, it's also fake turf.
Yeah,
That's because
Maybe
it
that'd be
is.
awesome to have. That'd be
field
awesome
turf
to
would
have.
be nice.
Jeez, Louis. I mean, that's just the other thing. It's like this place gets beat up by concerts. They have all these big time concerts there. It's like
Ramstein and Bad Bunny.
What are we doing here?
For sure. Well, let's expand outside of just the Bears and hop in to the return of the NFL Pick Show. Of course, we got week 1, so let's go through this real quick. We added a couple things in this year. We're each going to take a team total over or under, and then we will have the Thursday night game, 2 noon games, 2 afternoon games, a Sunday night, and a Monday night game. I am going for a three-peat. I have won the last 2 years in a row. I expect
Oh, guess
nothing
what? We have
less.
control now this year. We
You had control
finally
of the
get
last
control.
ones. The last ones were shared with you too, buddy.
But you never asked us to put our picks in. Now we're gonna put our own picks in. Maddie, we finally taken the advantage away from them.
Whatever you losers need, I'm still going to win. Let's start off. We have our team total we're going to take that will factor into our records. I'll go ahead and get us started. My team total is I'm going to take the Chiefs under 10.5 wins this year. And the reason that I am doing that.
Very good. That's very good.
Their schedule
unreal
is not over or is not
Boomy. We talked about this the other day we were on our way back from the bachelor party. We had a nice little lunch on the way back, and I had somebody read off the whole schedule. Unreal hard.
Let me just go through this real quick. At the Cardinals, home against the Chargers. I'll just read the non-conference stuff. At the Cardinals, at the Colts, at the Buccaneers, home against the Bills, at the 49ers, home against the Titans, home against the Jags, home against the Rams, at the Bengals, at the Texans, home against the Seahawks. That screams under 10.5 to me. And we'll see what old Patty Mahomes is going to do without his safety blanket that was Tyreek Hill. So I'm going to go Chiefs under.
Boomy, I think that is a great one. I'm honestly, can you parlay those? Can you parlay? You can't. I think I'm going to take both of these, though. I'm going to take yours and mine. Mine is Rams over 10.5 wins. I think this team is going to be unreal good. I mean, with the amount of money they've spent this offseason, they better be unreal good. But I think they're going to be so good. I understand they're plus money in the Bills game, which I think is kind of wild. I understand Josh Allen, they're all good. But, I mean, this defense, Matthew Stafford, the wide receivers they have.
I don't think this team got any worse in the offseason. I thought they only improved in a lot of spots.
They got better. They got better, and they spent a lot of money.
Yes. Maddie, who you got?
Boys. I'm going with the visor, Doug Peterson, Trevor Lawrence, the Jacksonville Jaguars over 6.5 wins. I don't think it's a good division. The Texans stink. I think the Colts could be good. I think the Colts could be had. I think the Titans are overrated as fuck. I don't think that team, without any weapons for Ryan Tannehill, I don't think Ryan Tannehill is winning you games. So Derrick Henry better stay healthy, or that team's going to be in deep, deep trouble. I just think there's games to be won. 6.5 seems easy enough that if Trevor Lawrence makes the progressions that you expect from the number one pick, with Doug Peterson, who I think is a really solid head coach and can really kind of right the ship from Urban Meyer and the wayward hand from last season. I'm going to take the Jags plus or minus over 6.5.
I like that, Maddie. I'm looking at their schedule right now. Their non-conference: Chargers, Eagles, Giants, Broncos, Raiders, Chiefs, Ravens, Lions, Cowboys, Jets. I mean, there's a lot of winnable games there, and like you said, it kind of in that second year is kind of that sweet spot.
They're always one of those teams that knocks off somebody that they're not supposed to every year too.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, 2 years ago it was the first week of the season, and then they lost like 22 straight. But I do foresee better things happening. I shouldn't say good things, just better things. Let's go ahead and get into it. We got Thursday night football. We got Rams and Bills. Right now, the line on DraftKings is currently at Bills -2 at Los Angeles. So, what do you guys got in this?
I'm going Rams plus 2.5. I'm actually in Rams money line. Understand the Bills are going to be good, but it's at home. This Rams team is going to be very good. And if you get this team at plus money I don't think you're going to see this team at plus money for a lot of the season. So you got to take advantage of it.
Maddie, who you got?
I'm a Zach. I like the Rams. I like a money line too. I think I like the plus 115, plus 120. Anytime you can get them at home, I don't care who you're facing. It's defending Super Bowl champs. The Bills kind of have a little bit of that super team kind of vibe to them, where it's like they're going to come out a little flat. And I think if I remember correctly, they started out a little bit slow last year. They didn't seem to be clicking on all cylinders at the start of the gate. Got better as the season wore on. I think that's to be expected a little bit. I think the Rams are going to come out with a little bit of a, hey, we're the champs. It's not like we got worse. So, I like the Rams.
P-Boy is in. He's the only one from the TCF crew that is in on the Bills minus 2.5. Let's move into the noon games. I'll go ahead and go first.
You didn't give your pick.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm with you guys. I apologize. Rams plus 2.5. I think, like I said,
well, you kind
of
gave your pick by saying that he was the only one, but I want to hear you say it.
Yep. The Rams, like I said, they got better. They did not get worse. Yeah. I just think that they're at home. I don't think they're going to lose this game. Might be my famous last words, but here we are. So let's go ahead, jump into the noon games. I'll go ahead. I'll get started. I've got the Lions plus 4. The Lions are at home against the Eagles. I think the Lions are going to be improved this year, and I'm just I've lost too much money betting on the Eagles here in this spot before. So I would take the Lions plus 4 and sprinkle money line. And I hate to do this to you guys, but I'm going 49ers minus 7. There's too many question marks about the Bears.
I literally have the opposite. I have Bears plus 7 versus the 49ers, and I have the Eagles minus 4 at the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions are not going to be any good. They're not going to be good. And I think this number I think it's a great number for the Eagles. The Eagles are going to be pretty good. Their wide receiving core is very good. Hopefully they can get some running game going, but I just don't have anything with the Lions. I love Dan Campbell. I think he's a really awesome coach on a bad team.
Yeah, I think they're going to be improved. I think they're, especially at home. I mean, Philly's got to prove it. Everybody's saying how good they're going to be. You got to go out and prove it. So come prove it to me. Maddie, who you got?
What was that? Like you calling out the Eagles? Jeez Louise, Boomy.
I hate the city of Philadelphia, so I got no problem doing that. Not the city, the fans.
You love Detroit, though.
I like Detroit more than I like Detroit fans more than I like Philly fans. So
I'm going back to the same division I just talked about, the Jaguars, AFC North, or excuse me, the AFC South. Jesus, AFC South, and I'm going to take the Texans plus 7 against Indy. It's one of those matchups where I just feel like Lovie Smith, home dog, interdivision home dog.
I always forget he's on the Texans.
First game with Matt Ryan with the Colts. A little bit different look for that team. Just maybe it's just one of those teams. It's just one of those games that line feels like the Colts should be at least a double-digit fave against.
The only thing you worry about is Jonathan Taylor.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, that guy could just absolutely carry a team, but I don't know. Lovey's gonna have a game.
It's a lot. That's a big point spread.
It is, and it's Davis Mills at the helm. It's gonna be that aerial attack that he's gonna provide Houston.
That'll be
cool, baby. Yeah, I think it's just gonna be one of those grimy ass games, and I think Lovey's gonna have a game plan to slow that thing down.
Perfect. And your other one, Maddie?
Let's see. The other noon game I had is the revenge game. My boy Baker.
I'm mad I missed this. This is an obvious one.
Baker laying 1.5 at home. It's basically even money at that point. He's gonna come out and try to go for 50 in the first half. So I'm just banking on maybe some of those hit. I don't know. I can't.
He's gonna take a. I don't know. Is it in Cleveland?
It's in Carolina.
In Carolina.
I know.
You just hope Matt Rule doesn't fuck it up, but
he would just go nuts if it was in Cleveland.
Yeah, I want to see Baker Mayfield have a really good game. I don't know why. I just do.
I think Matt Rule's a good coach.
We're going to find out this year.
Yeah, this is his year. This is his make or break year.
Definitely. Pigoy has the Patriots plus 3.5 on the road at Miami, and he also has the Ravens minus 6.5 at. Are they at the Jets or home against? They are on the road at the Jets. Not really believing in old Joe Flacco is Pigoy. Let's move to the afternoon. I'll get it started. I got Cardinals plus 6. I'll say I think Arizona's going to win this game. I down on Kansas City this year. I'll probably be wrong. Every time I bet against Kansas City, it's come back to bite me in the ass.
In Arizona, right?
Yes, the game is
That's
in
a
Arizona.
Wild point spread for me, I think.
Plus 200 on the money line right now on DraftKings, and then I got Packers minus 1.5. I don't think what happened last year opening week is going to happen this year. So not afraid of the Vikings.
I have Vikings plus 1.5. I think the Vikings are going to win this division. I think the Vikings are sneaky going to be a very good team this year. And then I have the Raiders plus 3.5 at the Chargers. I think this Raiders team is going to be a team to have to watch out for this year. With Devontae Adams added to this team, Hunter Renfrow, Waller, this team is awesome.
Maddie, who you got?
I like the Raiders. I'm with Zach there. I think getting 3.5, I think, is a big number. I think that
money line.
Tough. They're going to be very, very good. Other game, I'm going to take the Giants plus 5.5. I think Dable's a good coach. I think he's going to be a really good coach. I don't know. There's just something about that team this year that I think is going to be another one of those little bit better than what people expect. And Tennessee, I just don't. I don't know. I like Vrabel. I think Vrabel's a good coach. I love Derrick Henry. He's an absolute monster. There's just something about that team that I don't like this year at all, and I don't know what. I can't put my finger on it.
Can I tell you, I'm just not the biggest fan of Ryan Tannehill.
I think that. Well, that's a big part of it for me, and I don't think they have any other they don't have any weapons in the aerial game to bail that guy out at all. So it's Derrick Henry or nothing.
Hard to disagree there. Pigoy in the afternoon has the Vikings plus 1.5. In the we have the same on the Cardinals game. Me and Pigoy plus 6, and then he's got the opposite of what I got. So let's move to Sunday Night Football. We have the Buccaneers traveling to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. Buccaneers 2.5-point favorites. I'll take the Buccaneers. This has got to be Tom Brady's last run. I feel like we've been saying it for the last 3 years. And all the stuff surrounding in the offseason, I think he's just got too many weapons. And I'm not convinced of Dallas. I refuse to believe in Mike McCarthy after trusting him so many years for him to rip my heart out for the last decade. But give me the Buccaneers. Hate Mike McCarthy.
I agree. I'm with you.
I'm with you, too.
I'm with you on McCarthy as well.
The Bucs are going to destroy them, honestly. I think it's going to be one of those games that come out at the beginning of the season. I just don't see much in Dallas either.
Yeah. I mean, they're banking on so much with, with Dak Prescott. I'm just not convinced that Dak Prescott is who everybody thinks.
I'm not really convinced on Zeke that much either.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I don't know, is this kind of a make or break year for Zeke? He didn't play insanely good last year. At what point do you, look to move on? I don't know. Pigoy is the only one then on the Cowboys plus 2.5. I will say that line does kind of stink to me. I know it's on the road, but 2.5. I do think the Bucs are just a better football team, but that line does seem a little stinky to me. And then the Monday night game, we have the Seahawks hosting the Denver Broncos. The return of Russell Wilson, Week 1. Broncos are 6.5-point favorites. The only reason I'm taking the Seahawks here is because it's a home dog.
Broncos Nation. Let's ride.
I agree. I think Denver's going to bury them.
Broncos Nation. Let's ride.
Such a weird video. I'm the only one then on the show because Pigoy has the Broncos as well. So make sure you tune in. Watch
win
me go
totals, right? I have Rams over 10.5. Boomy, what do you got?
Chiefs under 10.5. And Pigoy has the Steelers over 7.5.
And Maddie?
Jaguars over 6.5. And that's actually plus money, too. It's like plus 105.
Oh, wow. Might have to jump in on that before Sunday. Let's move on. Obviously, in the theme of the NFL season started, we got some trivia here. And I've got some trivia questions that I'm going to ask the biggest Bears fans that I know. So I got 5 questions for you guys. Closest guess is the winner. What year did the Chicago Bears become a football franchise? Closest guess.
1942.
Matt?
It's like 1922.
1919. Matt takes round 1.
Way off.
They are
way off.
Yeah, 1919. The Decatur Staleys. In 1921, they became the Chicago Staleys. Then in 22, Matt, they became the Chicago Bears. So
he was technically right. You said when did the Bears become a thing?
Yeah, well, the Wikipedia page says it a little different. So, how many NFL
I'm chalking that up as
champions?
a win. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. I got no problem with that. How many NFL championships pre-merger did the Bears win?
13?
Zach?
10.
Zach is closer. The answer is 8. 21, 32, 33, 40, 41, 43, 46, and 63.
One for me, one for Maddie.
There we go. Conference championships. How many conference championships have the Bears won?
Is that like Super Bowl era or?
No, this dates back to the 1950s.
$27.
Matt?
How many conference championships have they won, or how many have they been in?
Conference championships that they have won.
Wait, so they won their division or conference, like the
won the
so
NFC.
Conference, like it would be like what we consider now like the AFC, the NFC.
So how many times have they been to the Super Bowl?
Essentially, but not necessarily including just Super Bowl.
It predates the Super Bowl.
No, so that changes my whole answers then.
I'm gonna say since 1950. You said
I'm gonna go 9.
I'll say 7.
If I'm doing this right, the number is 13.
Oh,
since 1950.
Since yeah. No, you're right.
That can't be because
I'm confused on this.
They've only had.
Sorry, the correct answer is 4.
Yeah,
I was including the championships and the conference championships. This just says conference championships.
Okay.
So the answer was 4. 2 more questions. What year did the Bears move out of Wrigley Field to Soldier Field?
Oh, shit. 1952.
Zach?
1964.
1971.
Oh, man. It was
Let's
more.
go.
Way
We got
more
2-2
recent.
here. This is for the championship right here.
Even. All right. I'll come up with a good one here. All right. In what year was Virginia McCaskey born?
Oh, goodness gracious. This is like
1928.
Wait. She was born in 1919.
1923.
Oh, Maddie wins.
No, Zach won.
What did I win?
You said 1919. You were 4 years off. Matt was 5.
Let's go!
I could have totally stole that win. No one would have been wiser either. I'm a man of honor and integrity. I don't want to hear any otherwise.
I apologize, but I didn't realize it was one number off. Okay, sorry.
Unbelievable.
I'm happy I won.
Nicely done, fellas. Nicely done.
Me and Maddie really know our history.
Well, that's not
Big history, guys.
This is all our yearly ranges and shit. Like at some point, we're just throwing darts up here at these numbers.
Yeah, you gotta be in the ballpark. You guys did pretty good. I was impressed. Let's
was a
finish
great
things
time.
up. As always, we have the TCF top 3, and obviously with the NFL starting this week, we are doing the best NFL stadiums. I will get things started. It's Lambeau Field. There's no place better. It's the best. It's huge. It's in a small town. You just don't get any better. Lambeau, number 1, not even close.
All right, Maddie, you can go second.
I'm gonna go Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. It's right off the strip, about a block or two off the strip. It looks like, and looks like a cool building from the outside, inside, state of the art, first class, everything. Looks like a beautiful place to watch a game. And then you're also in the gambling mecca of the world too. So I'm gonna take Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas.
That's a good one.
I'm gonna go SoFi Stadium. This is
Another good one.
$5 billion stadium. I understand and if you're the away team, you almost can have a home game.
Yeah.
But I mean, that place has to just be absolutely amazing.
Zach, you get another pick here?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go with the classic here. I gotta go Heinz Field. That place looks awesome. The tradition there. It's almost like you would have to almost consider it like a Lambeau Field. I know it's in a bigger city per se, but it's not as fancy as all the other stadiums. But it has a lot of like history inside of it. I know like Lambeau has a restaurant, and I've never been to Heinz, but like they probably have things within it. But it's just it seems like that place is just always rocking.
Yeah, that's right. The ambiance and the atmosphere there, it is right on the river. They kind of have it set up so like the baseball stadium. They're right there.
I think Pittsburgh does it right for. I understand the Pirates unfortunately aren't that good, but PNC Park is also beautiful. That
is true. Maddie, what's your second round pick here?
One place that really stands out when you watch a game there on TV, and I've never been there, but it looks like the atmosphere would be incredible pregame. And then obviously playing on the history card too. There's been a ton. There's Arrowhead, Kansas City. I think that's one of those stadiums. It's got the cool the scoreboard shaped like in the Indian Arrowhead, and just the whole vibe just screams NFL football. Like that's just what you envision is everything that's going on there. Plus a great team too now. So yeah, I'm gonna take Arrowhead.
I like that. I got my 2 here. I had the old with the Lambeau. I'll go modern here. I'll go AT&T Stadium, Jerry World. Place just looks insane. That Jumbotron is unbelievable.
I was hoping that would make its way back to me. That's
the only bad thing about that place is every time you go in there, you're giving money to Jerry.
Yeah.
What's his last name?
Hey, y'all, now come back Jerry here Jones. Again now, okay?
Yeah, y'all come on back now. Like Ross Perot. My last stadium, I haven't been in it. I've been by it a bunch, but I'll take Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. Everything on TV, it looks like a great stadium. Looks cool from the outside. I like it. Right in the middle of Indianapolis, which is a pretty easy city to get around. So I'll take Lucas Oil.
All right, I'm going 12th man. Loudest stadium in the NFL, CenturyLink.
Maddie, I literally was so excited to take that pick.
Sniped it, baby. Here we go.
That was a good one.
Zach, wrap us up.
I don't know if I should go. I'm going to Mercedes-Benz Stadium. That place looks awesome. It's got like what?
I don't like it.
Have you been there?
No, it's just everything it's just straight out of the 70s. I don't know.
Good. Thanks for poo-pooing. I didn't even poo-poo Lambeau Field on you.
Because you know how good of a pick it was.
And you come in and poo-poo one of my picks. Screw off.
Mercedes-Benz is new, though. I mean, it's brand new.
It's brand new. Oh, made in the 70s.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking of the Superdome. Yep. I apologize, Zach. I was thinking of the New Orleans Superdome. Sorry. I have been to the Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta. I have been there.
I was actually in a group chat with a couple of my friends, and somehow we were bringing up NFL stadiums earlier tonight, and apparently Mercedes-Benz has $5 beers
Yeah.
at
They have like a
NFL
whole
games.
$5 menu, I think.
And then also, yeah, I guess like
They have a
Arthur
Chick-fil-A
Blank
that's not open on Sundays.
I know, wild, absolutely wild. But Arthur
It's
Blank, I
insane,
guess,
though.
is very big into like having families be able to go to games, so he wants the concessions like really low. So I think that's a cool move.
I
Any
agree.
bonus. Good pick,
It's
Zach, in the
rare.
third round. Sorry to snipe Century Link
Yeah.
from you.
Yeah, well, yeah. Sorry for Boomy poo-pooing on my pick.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I had Mercedes-Benz Superdome in front of me, and I just do
No,
not like that place.
I think the history of the Superdome is cool, but I think the Superdome is not the best place to want to go to a football game. That's why none of us took Soldier Field, because it's just not a good place to go to a game. Like, it's just you gotta get modern on it. We have to get modern.
Nashville's cool. For the Titans, their stadium's decent. I've been there
That was
once.
no, it's Nissan, isn't it?
It's Nissan Stadium, yeah.
Yeah, I also had that one on my list. That was the one I was kind of trying to figure out which one I was.
Ford Field looks cool from the outside.
Yeah. You guys know,
Yeah.
obviously, FedEx Field is ranked the lowest on all of like the places I find. You guys know what a lot of people say is the second worst stadium in the NFL?
Usually Soldier.
No, actually, Soldier Field was like, I want to say 16 maybe on here. Yeah, 16. It's MetLife Stadium in New York.
Yeah,
that's relatively new too.
You know, first of all, you don't want to get there. It has to be.
Yeah.
It's awful to get there, and I don't think it's the best place either.
Yeah, it's that. I've also watched the video. They tried to like build this like enormous like America's second biggest mall next to it, right around the like collapse of the economy, and like they built like half the mall and the rest of it's just like abandoned, and it's just not good. I mean, the whole area is not great. So yeah, a lot of other good stadiums here. Also, someone's not so great, but I like our list. I think we did good on that. But that was episode 145. We thank you for joining us. A lot of football talk here as the NFL season gets underway here this weekend. Make sure you check out our sponsor, Connect Roasters Coffee. ConnectRoasters.com, on Twitter at Connect Roasters to pick up their incredible product. You can find us on Twitter at typical_Chicago, Facebook and Instagram. You hit those pages up, give them a like. All of our content in video form on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts, we are there. Subscribe, rate, and review. You can join Zach at Lilia TCF, and of course Maddie at schools_01. You can also find me on there at Boomy TCF. Again, we thank you for joining us. That was episode 145 of Typical Chicago Fans. We love you all.
Peace.